Welcome! Today on Learn Using Board Games. Not sure about that title. Not sure if it's going to keep or not. We'll keep it for now. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about Dungeon Petz by Vlada Shotbill. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. If it's 2 to 4 players, we are first going to talk with my boys and they're going to describe how the game is played. And then we will go over some of the tools and skills that you can learn by playing the game, or that your kids can learn. And then they will talk about what they like about the game, what they do with the game, what they enjoy. And I also will give my review of the game and talk a little bit more about some of the more, I was going to say homeschooling elements, but more of the learning elements that can be found in the game in general. Not necessarily just homeschoolers, but any kids who want to learn while playing games, or maybe they don't even want to learn, but they will if they play this game, and we'll show you how. Today I have with me Egan on the right and Quinn on the left, and they're going to describe how to play Dungeon Petz. Thank you, Quinn. So guys, how do you play Dungeon Petz? What's Dungeon Petz about?
Well, on around.
Go ahead, Egan.
What you do is, if it's secret, you make groups of imps and ghouls, and then whoever has the biggest group, say this is the biggest group here. So you go out, you place the group on anywhere you want.
On a spot on the board?
Yeah, and stay on the board. And let's say I want to go here. I use all my imps.
From that group?
Yeah, and I need a gold to go there because it's a gold here, and I need the imp because it shows an imp there.
Okay, so your group needs to have at least 1 imp and 1 gold, is what you're saying. Okay.
Right here, it says, you see 2 imps, that means 2.
So that spot needs at least 2 imps.
Yeah, imps mean imps, and this down there means gold.
Okay.
Yep, so some other spots you can go are like, you can buy cages, you can buy attachments for cages, you can buy potions here and take imps from the hospital that have been hurt by your pets. They get too aggressive. You can take food or special items. You can do all
Have you
that.
mentioned that you can bribe the...
Yeah, you can bribe the judges here.
Okay, so there's lots of different things you can get with your imps or money. So what happens after everybody's placed their groups of imps and money? Then you get your things that you placed them on?
Yep.
Okay, then what?
First you have to use these need cards. Say I had this guy here, Chompy. Yeah. I always get Chompy and Lizard mixed up. Because they're both bone in their mouth.
Yeah, and we do have some new pets just added to our copy of the game. Some
These 2 guys.
promos that were sent to us by a fellow BGG user friend of ours.
These guys.
So thank you for that, Eric's.
And they also didn't come with any names for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's get back to the needs, though. So after you have your pet,
This guy, maybe you start most guys at age 2 or 3.
Well, this top one is free.
yeah, so pets start at different ages, but usually 2 or 3, and they get older as the rounds progress.
Yeah.
And then at the bottom, it shows.
Say I have this guy at age 3.
Yep.
So it shows 2 red and 1 green card.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see that from your point of view, but so I take 1 green card and thank you, Quinn, I can get it. 2 red cards. So these are some of the simpler cards that I drew here. I just did random. I didn't stack them.
And you do start out with 1 of each color, so you would have another red and green in your hand.
So, there. And then I have to choose 1 red and 1 green and 2 red cards to give him. So, okay, I can see here I've got red number 1. That means his cage can only take 1 aggression. Or it's out. So I'll play 1 aggression, but I still need another red card.
So he'd play
So I play a poop. Now these double-sided cards, you can see they've got 2 different sides. They can be played on either side.
Okay.
So I'm playing it as a poop,
and
then
do is they call these brown.
Okay.
and then I'll do
A food, which then you would have to feed them.
Yeah, then I have to feed him. There's also purple and yellow cards.
Because he has this.
Or these potion cards, which are kind of like wild cards. And
So after you play their need cards, what happens? Quinn, you were saying?
They do this.
The exhibitions?
Exhibitions.
And what happens at an exhibition? You choose one pet, usually, to show off, right? And what happened?
And then, like here at this exhibition, Quinn's holding up.
You get 2 points for every
aggression.
Aggressive symbol on your card.
Yeah, so I enter this guy, and so let's say I enter this guy at the exhibition because he's the only guy I've got. So, and then these are the cards I played on him. See, I've got 1 aggression symbol here.
So you'd get 2 points for that, right?
Yeah.
Oh. And
I could have played it on this side, but I don't want him to go to the hospital. We'll have gotten 4 points if I played on this side.
Yeah, because your cage wouldn't be able to hold that much aggression.
Yeah, but I've only got a red number 1, so it can only take this 1 aggression.
Various bad things can happen if you aren't able to meet the needs of your pets.
Like one of your imps gets eaten up.
No,
get sent to the hospital.
Sent to the hospital.
And then this right down here means that
unhappy face?
Yeah. That means that you get less points for
sickness cubes.
Yeah,
It's black cubes.
And then down right here is you just refill all of these.
Yeah, that's just an indicator for the beginning of the round. It's not really important. And then some rounds have what?
I think every round except the first round have these guys that want to buy your pets.
Yeah. And they'll pay you money, right?
Yeah, these guys are like the exhibitions because they pay you money. So this guy, it looks like he doesn't like playfulness or unhappiness, but he likes aggression and magic because he's an aggressive dragon wizard man thingy.
All right. So, and then you play.
Get rid of your pet and turn them in for a certain amount of gold. So this guy may be aged because this would be on next round. So this guy aged. So I get to sell him for 3 gold here.
Yeah, and not only gold, but you also get points for doing that too.
Yeah.
So it's a game played over about 5 rounds, I believe, where you score points for showing off your pets and selling them, and then whoever has the most points at the end wins. It's a pet taken care of simulator, so to speak. What do you guys...
One of the things I advise, if you have a pet, if you want to have a pet, don't buy a very aggressive pet.
That's good advice for the real life fan of this game.
What do you guys like about this game?
I like the rules because they're so funny. I like reading all the pet descriptions.
Here, want to read some?
Yeah, you can read one if you'd like. But while you're finding that, I also like they're even more funny than the Dungeon Lord rules.
Even more funny? And those were pretty funny.
Yeah.
I'll read a few, 2.
Okay.
Gefuli. The imps once tried to summon the ancient nightmare of unspeakable horror. Once, when Gefuli appeared, it bounced around, licked their faces, and then pooped in a corner of a pentagram. The imps realized that they would never be any good at unspeakable horror. They would never be good at unspeakable horror. And baby golem. It might be easier to just build a full-grown golem, but the imps like to think inside the box. They raise all of their pets from cubs. Why not golems? So they just have to visit his cage once from time to time with a toolkit. Make him older. You want to write a one? No.
So, you guys also, I know, have used the pieces and the game as inspiration for other games that you've made, am I right?
Yeah, I made a game called Monster Economy. I made most of the pieces myself, but I needed something to track damage and how much money and food you have. So I use the money and food from Dungeon Petz.
Quinn, I'm pretty sure I've seen some Dungeon Petz, like of your own creation, lying around the house somewhere. Am I correct?
Yeah, I made 2. One's already cut out.
Only one's cut out? What's its name?
Floaty Skull.
Does he have a background that you can read off? No? You should create one for him. Write it out. You can add it to the instructions. All right. Anything else that you guys like about the game or want to add?
I like trying to figure out what cards are best for your pets.
So you like that thinking aspect to the game?
Yeah, and I like all the crazy pictures on it.
Yeah, the artwork's pretty fun too. I agree. I like that too.
Yeah, like these guys right here, they look like living fourth balls.
All right, well, if that is it, I think we will sign off. Thank you, guys. All right, well, you heard Egan and Quinn's thoughts about the game, and you saw some of the things they like to do with it. So I'm not sure I need to add much more about those aspects. Obviously, it's, there's a lot of reading going on. They love to read the rule book. Egan's taken it to bed with him more than one occasion. The comedy in it has inspired them to obviously read it over and over again. So, there's really no text in the game itself other than the rule book. So I find it kind of funny that the rule book is where they've probably gotten the most academic use out of this game is from the rule book itself. And along those lines, it's kind of comic booky in nature. And if your kids are interested in that sort of thing, let me recommend the comic book series Bone. It's kind of, it's humorous, and it's kind of along the same lines of, same type of humor, kind of just silly humor. There's some silly characters in there, and those of you who've read it probably know what I'm talking about. Other aspects about the game that I enjoy, the theme is great. It's really fun. Taking care of their pets. You really feel like that this pet has a personality that you're taking care of, and you can see that in its needs, and you can see it in its how it looks, the artwork. So I highly recommend this game. It has led to a lot of creativity on my kids' part, has led them to want to read some more stuff, which is always good. And there's not a ton of history or geography, and there's just a tiny bit of math when keeping track of score. But I think for the imagination, creativity, and reading aspects alone, it's worth playing. It's worth getting for your kids. And even if you don't want, or don't care about those sorts of things, it's a fun game to play. It really is.